live stream has commenced. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the solution.
How you doing, everyone? Thanks for joining me today. We've got something special for you today. We're going to talk about Nexion and specifically the Glow protocol, which if you're on PulseChain, as you know, PulseChain is constantly being developed by individual teams, offering you lots of new services. And this is what makes PulseChain so great, having all these mining opportunities, these staking opportunities, lending protocols like this one, borrowing protocols. This is really what will give PulseChain its longevity. So, yeah, please welcome Nexion team to the chat here, and specifically T2 Psycho and Lef. How you doing, guys?
Good, Sammy. How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, doing well, thank you.
Very well, thank you.
It's an optimistic time for PulseChain. We've talked about this a little bit in some of the previous streams, but I personally think that it's a good opportunity for PulseChain to potentially break out. We're having a really nice bullish day today with Ethereum powering up, and the start of October, start of Q4, which is a really bullish time for crypto. So hopefully people are starting to come back to PulseChain, start paying attention to the socials, and start doing research on some of these opportunities. Q4 is potentially a time where you can make a lot of money. So I understand today we're going to talk about some leverage. Do you guys want to give a quick background about yourselves and then about Nexion, and then we can start looking into it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start us off. Yeah, I'm T2. I've been in crypto since about 2016. I've been involved with various dApp projects throughout the years, and Nexion being the hopefully the end stop here. So Lef and I have put a lot of time, sweat, blood, and tears into Nexion project, and we really want to see this flourish. We don't want to have to go throughout any other more projects in the future. We've been adding everything we possibly can and throwing everything we can at this project here to really bring the value to to Neon, token backs Nexion. So yeah, I mean, I do the front end, more of the front end application GUI, and Lef is more so the back end contracts and the masterminds behind a lot of the protocol. So, but yeah, Lef, you want to speak a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I'm software engineer, and the last 6 years I've been doing crypto only, freelancing. I'm mainly contracts dev, yeah, like I do Solidity. I'm doing some audits too, and yeah, I got some friends who are doing projects, and like Psycho is one of them, and we've been doing stuff together for I think maybe 3 years now, and we've started a lot of projects, and yeah, we really enjoy doing stuff together. I think we've got a good chemistry. He's the front end of the team, also like speaking to the public and stuff. I don't usually go on streams. Yeah, but I think we got something very good with Nexion, and we're really optimistic about PulseChain. So we want to do something big, like, because we started as a token and with some dApps, but we really wanted to level up. So we thought we need something to add utility to the chain, and like in my personal opinion, there's not many things you can do to add utilities, like maybe a DEX or a lending. So we're like, we're gonna choose a big lending platform from Ethereum and other chains, and we're gonna study it, and we're gonna spend months like forking it and applying it to our dApp. We did some changes, and we connect to our token. So yeah, we launched last week, and we're very excited. Yeah, that's it for me.
sorry, I'm muted there. I can see that the application looks really nice. I just want to quickly ask you before we have a look at that, what made you guys choose to develop on PulseChain?
Lef, you want to answer, or you want me to answer?
You can do it if you want.
Yeah, I mean, PulseChain just seemed like a really good opportunity at the time. I've developed on multiple chains in the past. Me and Lef have kind of bounced between chains. We've developed on various chains, all the way down to BTTC. I think we were on for a little bit, BitTorrent. So yeah, I mean, we jumped over to PulseChain just because of the opportunity we saw. I mean, we've been here since the launch, since the sacrifice. And we've been I don't know that we've necessarily launched a ton on PulseChain specifically. Nexion's been obviously the biggest and most focused that we've put on. I mean, we're 272 days into it. I think so we didn't launch too long after PulseChain kind of launched itself. So yeah, this has been the majority of the focus, but I think it's mainly been the opportunity. We saw a lot of opportunity to develop something new audience. I mean, there was a lot of buzz going around PulseChain at that point in time. A lot more active than it seemingly is right at the moment. But that's what kind of drew us to, was the amount of activity, participation, in the sacrifice, and then.
Sorry, I was going to say I had many friends who were into Hex, and they were really looking forward for a launch of PulseChain, and that made me personally interested in developing. And up to now, even though the price is not doing that good, I think there's a huge audience and a lot of people who are very passionate, and we want to build something for this audience. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm really bullish on PulseChain. I know it's been frustrating for a lot of people, but as I say, this is a really good time to be building. We've all had a really nice couple of years to kind of get our feet under the table and develop these projects on PulseChain, and I'm excited for the future. So let's jump in. I'll add your screen to this stage, and I'll let you guys kind of present a little bit, and then I'll jump in if I've got any questions, or if anyone in the chat has any questions, we can bring that up. Do you want me to keep that extra account, Nexion, in the corner open or not on stage?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever you need, Sammy. If you can share the screen without it, go ahead. But if not, that's fine.
Okay. There you go.
All right, cool. Let's jump into it. So this is Glow. This is our lending, borrowing, leverage dApp, PulseChain. It is a fork of Gearbox. For those that are familiar with Gearbox on Ethereum and other chains, it is a fork. We've, like Lef mentioned, we made some changes and kind of obviously tuned it for PulseChain, and to integrate Neon, the backing token for Nexion, within the dApp, and we'll kind of go over that and how it ties in. But I'm going to give you guys a quick overview. I'll pass it off to Lef for some of the parts here. But when you come into the dApp, you're going to see you'll be defaulted on the Earn tab, which is the lending tab. And you can see basically the amount of total assets and the amount of total borrowed by users. And if you scroll down in the Glow tools, we have available the total that's available.
We are having a little issue with your mic. Sorry, we're having a little issue with your microphone. Your internet connection, I think it might be. Let's make you aware. Maybe say something again. If not, we'll have to have your.
Can you guys? Yep. Hold on 1 second.
If you can fix it, I can take over. It's fine.
Yeah, let me 1 sec. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you know if it happens again, but it should be okay.
Did I lose you guys?
No, we can hear you.
No, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't work.
Did I lose you guys?
No. Yeah. We can hear you. You can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Yeah. Go on, proceed. It was just getting it was kind of dropping in and out for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I reconnected to a different network, so we'll try this. Okay. So I'm gonna start over again here. So on the Earn tab or the Lending tab, when you get to the DApp, the first thing you're gonna come up to see is the total supplied assets, USD amounts, and the total borrowed amounts by users across the platform. When you scroll down into the Glow Lending pools, you can see the various pools that we have available for users to kind of go in and lend their assets against. And you can see, the available amounts. You can see the APYs that are tied to the supply and borrow for the pools, the amount that's borrowed. You can see the utilization of the pool, and then obviously what you've supplied, and then what you have in your wallet. So this is how you would come in, and let's just say you have we'll say I have some EDI here. I have $70 worth. I'll just click on the EDI pool, and that takes me into basically the managed pool token for EDI. You can see the pool name up here. There's a couple different things you can kind of click through, which is the dashboard, utilization, and collaterals, and it does show some stats in regards to each token on the page. But this is where you would kind of come in, and let's just say I wanted to supply I don't know, $10 worth of my EDI into the pool. I would come in and just put in 10. You can hit deposit, and you get a pop-up. Obviously, confirm and sign, and that's pretty much how easy it is to kind of lend assets into the pool. Now, when you lend your assets into the pool, you'll be able to see. We'll take a look on our dashboard, some stats. But if I wanted to withdraw the liquidity that I put in, I would just click on withdrawal, and once it's actually confirmed, I would be able to go in there, and you can see what I have in there right now. I could go in there and withdraw this from the token pool, as long as there's available liquidity to be withdrawn from. So. Like I said, you can kind of click on the utilization. You can see the interest rate. The interest rate here, the borrow rate kind of over time, and the various collaterals that make up the token pool, with some of the pool information here as far as how many tokens are enabled, how many open credit accounts against the pool, collateral tokens, and then obviously the important part, how much is available to be borrowed from.
And what affects that borrow rate?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Lev.
Yeah, well, there's this curve. If you go to the utilization part, it's a curve that defines the borrowing rate depending on the utilization, basically. There are different kind of curves, and this is like a standard, very passive curve, and which just has some maximum borrowing points where the curve changes. And well, we did a risk analysis, and we chose this curve. We could have a more aggressive, that would have more borrowing rate in less utilization, but we wanted to have as much utilization possible before the rates increase. So that's what this curve represents, and
in the supply and borrow, the rates kind of fluctuate based upon the supply that's lended versus borrowed. So the more activity, the more that's borrowed, the higher the rate kind of gets. We can kind of see, as if you look over here, like utilization goes up to, it's like 92%. You can see that the borrow rate would be upwards of 12%.
Yeah, there's like a positive loop there. So the more people borrow, the more, of course, the borrowing rate increases, which increases the supply rate, and then the lenders are, we have very high supply APY, let me lend more. And the more they lend, the utilization drops, and which drops the borrowing rates. And then, people say, oh, it's cheap to borrow here, let me borrow more. So there's this positive feedback loop going on.
Yep.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yep,
So just to make people clear, some people may have never used something like this before. Do you want to just explain in a simple way, like a use case of why someone might want to interact with this protocol?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the big aspect about Glow is that obviously you can borrow and leverage more than you have available. And yeah, so the big question is what can you do with those leveraged funds? Power farming is probably, I would say, one of the biggest use cases within Glow that allow users to farm various pools on various protocols. In this case, we have available farms currently only for fiat, but we do have some future farms coming in the near future for Vouch and Better Bank when they get up and relaunched. But essentially, yeah, users can borrow. They can come in. They can have let's just say they come in with a little bit of funds. They can borrow against those funds. They can leverage, so they get more funds, and then they can take those funds and essentially farm pools, and obviously, grab rewards with higher amounts. You can farm with higher amounts than you would initially would have.
Let me say one thing. We did a lot of research before choosing which lending to, let's say, copy. And we like this one because it's very modular and upgradable. So if a new farm, a single stake asset appears, like let's say Richard Hart does a single asset farm of his own, then we can incorporate it in our power farms. So people can borrow, and the thing is, the key is that when you borrow here, the funds don't go in your wallet. They go in a new smart contract called a Glow account or a credit account. And this Glow account has some whitelisted actions you can do, farms. So for now, we've only whitelisted fiat, and we're going to consider more as they appear. So
I read that in your white paper. So the borrowed and the lending funds go in a separate pool, and that's for extra security. Is that correct?
Yeah, the lending pools funds are in one contract, like the pool contract.
Yeah.
And when you borrow, your collateral and the borrowed funds go in a new smart contract, which is called the credit account. And this is separate from all the rest. So yeah, apart from being modular and upgradable, this protocol is very good because there's a lot of contracts, and the risk is divided a lot. You manage better and you lower the risk when you have funds in these different credit accounts that are independent of each other.
Gotcha. Thanks for that.
Yeah. So and every time, I know we didn't get there yet, but so every time you borrow funds, or if you power farm or leveraged, which is just another form of borrow, like Lef mentioned, you get an account that opens up. So if you click on your dashboard, this is a dashboard that's inclusive to the user. So myself here, you can see on the left-hand side, across the top, you can see the total credit that you have, the total debt that you have against your account, and then the total lending pool value. In the left-hand side, you can see all my Glow accounts. So these are the various, I've borrowed essentially twice here, and you can see the two accounts that I have created for me. So if I click on one of those accounts, it takes you into the account page, which you can do various things with this account. So you can obviously see the same stats here, but you can also see your health factor, your current health factor, kind of what you initially had put in, what you borrowed, against, and then your total collateral value, which is what's being used. For me, in this case, I came in with 741 EDI, and I essentially borrowed up to 2436, and I put that into one of the farms in the power farms. So you can see the benefit obviously is me coming in with a lower amount and having being able to borrow a higher amount, and not really having a whole lot of risk behind it. My credit factor, my health factor is pretty high, and these being stables, there's a very low chance of me being liquidated, obviously, because
So that's a nice example of a kind of a much safer play there.
Yeah, definitely a safer play. Yeah. We can get into the more riskier plays when.
Yeah, if you borrow the same token that you supply, there's a lot of the chance to be liquidated is almost zero, because the price difference between what you supply and what you borrow is zero. And the key here is like you see, he's borrowing. He's paying 4.27% to borrow these farms, and I think this farm gives less than that. So the key is to find farms that give you a rate less than what you borrow. So you earn the difference.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So
you're saying, so what's that farm paying out? It's paying out what?
just under. I think it's like 4 point. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, around 4%, wasn't it?
4.2, something like that. But this varies too based upon the volume, from fiat too. So that's this could at one point this was, I think, upwards of like 12, 13, 14%.
Yeah.
So it definitely varies.
Yeah, I was going to say when Pulse goes down, people withdraw their stable coins and they buy more. So that's why it was dropped now. I think it was higher some weeks before because people wouldn't borrow it because Pulse was high. So yeah, it's quite dynamic, the rate.
Yeah,
sure. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. So let's just jump back.
So you're offering, is it a sliding scale? Is it 3%, 5%, 10%? 10x, 3x, 5x, or is it a sliding scale of how much x you want to apply when you borrow?
The borrow rate depends on the utilization only, not on how much you borrow. So even if you borrow 10% and the utilization like 1, you just pay 0.01 borrow rate. But if you just borrow like just 2x and this makes your utilization like 90%, then the borrow rate is very high, depending on the curve. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just continue on through the account. So so all the account information we kind of went through. You can see what tokens are within your account. You can do a couple different things. You can, if your account health factor allows it, you can borrow more if there's available funds to borrow against. You can decrease your debt and pay down if you have the tokens available within. You can add collateral, which will increase your health factor overall. You can add it into your account. You can do partial withdrawals. So in this case, you can see the tokens I have available are all within PHDI. So the only option I would have would be within PHDI. So I'd have to extract or withdraw some of the stuff out of that I have farmed to be able to withdraw my actual DAI back out. And then you can, you have the option to close your Glow account. There's 2 options you kind of have within here. The first one actually requires you to have, collateral or the available balance within your wallet, not within your Glow account. And the second one does a swap and will kind of eject whatever you have in farms if you are farmed, and kind of do some automatic swapping and return the eDAI that was initially given to you, or that you initially put in the first place.
Sorry, I was going to say there's a user who suggests a third method that we can add in next week, probably, that we didn't think about it.
Okay.
I've got to say, it does look nice and clean and clear. So you've done a great job on the UI there.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, you can also do a little bit of swapping if you want to. This is where you can kind of manage your farm. You saw how much I have in PHDI. You can see how much I have in here. It's kind of all in there right now. So as PHDI, I can withdraw it all if I wanted to. Can supply more if I had more eDAI to kind of continue to increase my position in the farm. Can kind of do that here. So everything kind of gets maintained within your account. So Sam, you can like I said, if you borrow multiple times, you're going to have multiple accounts open up, and each one of them is manageable. You click on it and you can kind of manage the actual account in itself. So, and there's no limit to how many accounts you can have open. It's however you really want to kind of do it. So
yeah, that helps for your management and keeping eyes on each situation. Yeah.
Yep. So I think the only thing, one thing we didn't cover left. I'm gonna jump into the stats real quick. So we talked a little bit about liquidations. When accounts near liquidation, or when they are, I think it is 1.0 is the liquidation health factor. So once that's hit, anybody can go in and liquidate the account, and
so it's like a good accounting function, is it?
It's to keep good standing, and I think to clear left was a bad debt, and kind of to keep us. to keep everything.
Yeah, well, the liquidation exists to protect the lenders, because the lenders, like when you supply and withdraw, this is supposed to be a passive option, like with no risk of losing your money. And the only case where you might lose money is when you don't liquidate someone and he caused a bad debt and there's not enough funds in his account to pay back the pool. So this is like very important, and we have the option for anybody to do it on the UI, but we also have our own bot running, and we also have a space. Yeah, if anybody wants help to make his own bot, he's very welcome, because there's like a 4% of the collateral return to the bot. So it's quite competitive. Like if you get traction, a lot of volume, this might be quite profitable. So, and it helps us protect our users. So yeah, it's quite important.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, I'm familiar with Aave over on ETH, and I think when you start to get below 1.1, you got to really be careful. I think that's pretty much the same on some of these centralized exchanges as well. Like around 1 to 1.1, you got to start to check your positions. And yeah, I'd like to say to anyone that is thinking about using leverage for the first time, obviously be very aware of your health factor. Don't over borrow. Start off cautiously and experiment.
Yeah, that's what we tell our users to, like, start with small amount just to learn the platform. And we also have low limits applied. Like I think in our pool, you cannot deposit more than $100,000 in each one, because we don't want risk something happening. So next week, if we see things go well, and people ask, we will be increasing not only the lending pool limits, but also the borrowing limits. They should be quite low, like maybe 10, 20,000 maximum. Again, it's to manage the risk. We could open to have infinite amount, but we just want to do it slowly, because it's a DApp that we think it's going to be there for years. It's not something quick, and the most important is to be safe and have no bugs and everything. And in the long term, it's going to be, I think, very usable, as long as we have more farms and everything. Yeah,
it's good to know you guys are serious about this and committed to this long term. I know you guys are very active in promoting this, and you've been slowly developing all the different features on this Nexion offering. And as you guys know, you're only as good as your last job. So in this business, and so yeah, it's good to know that you guys are serious and kind of trying to build this long term. And I'm sure you'll have success with it.
Yeah, I think if we can keep getting exposure, new users, there's definitely new things that we're putting out there. There's major utility within Glow. We have other things too, that we have that we tie into. We have different staking mechanisms that we have out there. We also have incentives to provide liquidity. So I don't know if we really didn't cover the Neon token itself, but the major piece to Neon is there's a 6% tax on Neon, and 5% of that tax goes to the liquidity providers. So in the liquidity, we have a specific liquidity management tool in our on our site here that allows users to kind of go in, claim their rewards, and there is a specific subset of pairs or tokens that we decided upon launch, which would be these 7 here. Or 6, these 6 here.
I was looking at the Neon on Dex Screener, and you've got some nice thick liquidity there.
We. I mean, I can definitely say when we had some higher volume going on, the liquidity pools were very, very lucrative to be in. We want to get there again, obviously. So we're trying to bring some more visibility, and then taking the utilization from Glow and kind of passing it into Neon as well. So we are doing some profit sharing, not only to users that want to stake their tokens, their Neon tokens within the Hollow Vault V2, but we're also sending the profits, a percentage of the profits go to our Neon auction pool, which kind of funnels new funds within the platform and funnels and really fuels our buyback and burn. So I don't know how familiar, Sammy, you are with when we first launched. We launched with our auction protocol to where users can kind of go in and they can get their tokens from the auction. I'm sure you're familiar with the auction protocol. That right now we are, like I said, a percentage of Glow profits are kind of feeding into and funneling into what we have available for the supply in the vault balance here. So as the volume increases within Glow, the percentage, will obviously continue to feed, and then this number should increase over time on the amount of tokens that are available from the vault for users to kind of come in. And the big benefit to users grabbing them from the auction is every time they buy from the auction, they funnel or they feed our buyback and burn. And you can kind of see the stats here on what we've had up to this point. 175 million neon been burned so far, about 17.5% of our supply. And you can kind of see every day when people are putting into the auction, this balance builds. When it meets the cap here at $10, in this case, $10.92. So somebody will be able to hit this buyback and burn, and it will go ahead and buy. It will take that balance. It will buy from the market, and it will send them tokens to the burn address. So,
and it looks looking at your actual neon token here, which was launched back in was it 3rd of Jan 25?
Yeah, for the first.
And it's held up pretty well. So you had the normal traders pump on launch, but you're currently almost 9x up against Pulse since launch. And you're 714% up since launch against USD. So looking well. It's been a tough year for PulseChain. So that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's been holding. We thankfully we have some great community members that took part early on and have been sticking with us all along. And they have as much faith as we do in the project. We want to see everything grow. We want to see the project flourish, obviously, and bring it to new heights and bring the volume back to it, get people excited about it again. Like you said, PulseChain's been a little, it's just been slower than we all would like at this point. But yeah, no, we just want to continue to keep building. We want to, obviously ensure users that we are here long term. This isn't something that, obviously, we're almost 300 days into it. It's not something we're looking to just, start and dump a few days later. So this is, like I said, we put a lot of time into it. We put a lot of effort and a lot of work into what we have here, and we just would love to see people kind of utilize it and to see people benefit from it. Because obviously, we talked about the borrowing aspects and the lending aspects, but people can earn a decent return if the volume's there. So you can I'll just kind of show you where on the dashboard here for if you are in lending any of the pool and in any of our pools, you can kind of see what you do profit. We added this column here into your lending positions. You can see, so you can kind of see what.
I like that. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. It's not. I don't have a lot here in return, but based upon the volume that's been within the platform thus far, and the low amounts that I've supplied, it's pretty good return. So, but yeah, no, it's all comes with volume. Everything comes with volume, as you know.
100%. And so people you've got Telegram. I'm just going to share that now for everyone. As I say, always make sure you are joining the official Telegram room for these sort of things, because the amount of scam groups that pop up, obviously I don't think admins will ever DM you when you join these groups. So if you go in these groups asking questions, just be aware that there might be some people sending you direct messages pretending to be one of these guys or the other admins. Obviously don't reply to that. You've got the GitHub, the Gitbook. If anyone wants to go and look at the white paper there, some really interesting information there. What else do we have? Obviously, the main website is going to be, so you want to try and save this one in your bookmarks so you don't mistype it, because again, you do get, when you start to get a successful project, you do get these scammers that will launch your website with one spelling different. And when you connect your wallet, you get drained. So make sure you save that one in your bookmarks and click on that rather than type it in each time. What else have we got? Any other reference points, guys, you want people to have a look at?
No, I think you made mention of it, but Lef and I are always available in Telegram. If anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to post them. We will always answer. But yeah, we'll never just message you. So that's definitely, there's definitely a lot of scams going on. We try to keep the Telegram as clean as we can. So, but that's going to be your best bet to reach us or to ask and get immediate, I think, feedback or response. So
yeah, so that's t.me/Nexion Pulse. Well, thank you guys. Is there anything else you want to mention? Is there anything coming up for you guys? Any media coming up for you in the coming weeks? Any spaces, anything like that people want to look out for?
we're going to try. Yeah, we're definitely trying to collab with some more. I think we're trying to talk to Superman, get on and maybe get with him, have him try to put some more focus on Glow. There's a couple other users too that we reached out to that we're hopefully get on some near future streams that we can kind of go through and answer questions and hopefully expose new protocol to new audiences, based upon the streams. So that's really the goal, to kind of get people looking, get people trying it out, and then let it grow from there.
Yeah, and as I say, we did kind of say this in the green room before we started. PulseChain Twitter has been extremely quiet. Engagement's been super low, but I think that will change as soon as we start to get those green candles. The people will start flooding back in, and it's really good that you got this sort of stuff all ready to set up. So I think the users are coming, the volume is coming, and the prices are coming.
Yep.
So I look forward to that. And thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone,
did you have anything lastly you wanted to say?
No. When I'm going to see an oracle for Pulse Bitcoin, so we can put it in lending.
There you go.
I'm saying when you're going to make an oracle for Pulse Bitcoin.
Oh,
Pulse
well, yeah.
Bitcoin.
We can discuss that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, nothing to say. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. And hopefully people watching this back have learned something. And go check out their Telegram for more details. Thanks all. Take care.
Thanks, Sammy.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Bye now.
Woo, witnessing greatness.